Well, hello everyone. So, I have to be totally upfront and honest. I cannot worry that anyone is watching because I freak out and I can't do what I want to do, which is spill my guts on camera. For some reason, there's something about talking to the camera and being able to remember what I'm talking about and look back on it and see my progress that I really, really like. I 9 months ago started posting videos on YouTube out of nowhere. I'd never even really taken a selfie, but 9 months ago I have a YouTube account that I watch on, and I was like, I'm gonna film these, me talking, because I had not a soul to talk to. Not a soul. Like, awkward. I had not a soul to talk to. My family had completely turned on me after I witnessed an attempted murder, a really bad shooting. They shot over 30 times, right around 30, but broad daylight at like 1 p.m. on a Sunday while I was reading a fucking romance novel on my sofa. And I was about a year out of being assaulted, and I built up to owning a business a year out. Owning a business, a dog business, and my family was really upset with me. I've looked back on the conversations, and I've had other people look too. This is what they got upset at. This is the genesis of them turning on me. I was talking about philosophy too much, and it was pissing them off, and so they turned on me, and I was peaceful for about 4 months, but even before I became unpeaceful, my sister contacted my very few close friends and some of my business partners and clients and outed me as a schizophrenic and told them that I was just being horrible or something. She told all of them different things. And my friends, mostly, one of them believed her, but the rest were just like, I can't deal with the drama. Like, your family is too much. And because I was always complaining about him and venting about him, and it was too much for them. And I totally understood. They were just like, you need to fix this. And that's, they dumped me as a friend, and I totally get it. But overnight, I lost everyone. I lost my business. My mom co-signed on a car so I could get a better rate and took my car back. Like, it was bad. It was bad. I lost everything overnight. It was just like, oh my God, I witnessed a shooting and this is what I get? Like, I would never treat someone like this. So it's so bizarre to be treated this way, because I can't imagine doing what they've done. My sister is like a psychopath. Like, she orchestrated 3 different smear campaigns against me. She made fake profiles and posed as me to get a group of girls to stalk and harass me. And they stalk me until this day. They're watching right now. They're my main audience. So when I went on YouTube and I started posting my Spill the Guts videos, I thought no one was watching, but it turned out my haters were watching. My son's father was watching, and about 6 of my haters, and they were watching religiously. And I'm really glad it worked out like that now, because I could talk about self-introspection and be vulnerable in front of anyone. And I think that's a fucking superpower, being vulnerable. Not everybody can do that. And it made it so I could change in front of anybody. And I'm proud of that. There's nothing that can stop me from changing. If I decide to change and I really believe in it and I understand it completely, it's going to happen. And I don't care if they're watching. And they care so much. And it's a good example, because I'm like, they are so anti being vulnerable in front of me. Like, one of them, Stalker A, we call her on this channel, I've talked to. She stalks and monitors me religiously, and she commented on my YouTube one time and had this bizarre story about what originally went down. I have no idea how she made this up, but she made up a bunch of stuff about how I was going to get arrested if I ever called CPS again and all this crazy shit. And I'm like, do you know how many times I've had to call CPS since living in the hood? And they've never mentioned it. She just made this, and then I hit on her husband, and Oh my God, all this like crazy shit. And I was just like, I named off like 20 things she had done because she was fucking crazy. She befriended my son's father, my fucking abuser, my rapist, just to scare me. And she didn't have one thing to say about it. She didn't even say she was an alcoholic and drinking in front of her son. She was getting blacked out drunk in front of her son. And that's why I had to call. That just for that reason alone is enough to call CPS. I would hope somebody would help a child, watching his parent get blacked out drunk during the day to the point where they had to go to the hospital for alcohol withdrawal. She didn't have a thing to say about it. Didn't even admit, like, hey, yeah, and I'm sober now, bitch, or nothing. She was so anti being vulnerable in front of me. And I just think that is so icky because that's fear-based. Fear is disgusting. Fear makes us do horrible things. Horrible things. Every bad thing anyone does is based on fear. And I want to let go of fear completely. And I let fear creep back into my life. And it was around the time that my son's father's affair partner took me to court. Because I was afraid that I had no one to take care of my son. And if I would have went to jail over her false accusations, and I could have got a contempt of court, very unlikely that I'd go to jail. Like, so unlikely. But I've never been in cuffs. So I was, like, dude, if the off chance I get a bad judge, and it happened the first time I got a bad judge that, I shouldn't have gotten the original thing, which she got a restraining order against me, or an anti-harassment order against me. It's not a restraining order, it's an anti-harassment order. I shouldn't have gotten that in the first place, at all. But we were in Washington and they had just changed the laws over to, you could chronically annoy someone, which means reaching out to them twice, and you can get an anti-harassment order. So, I got a judge that was a stickler and really wanted to like enforce those laws. And if I would have appealed it, I would have won, but I would have needed a lawyer. I had just gotten a brain injury, and she was dating my son's father, who was like still stalking me and like saying we were together and stuff like at the time. And, it was a mess, dude. So I just was like, fuck it. I don't care. I'm not going to talk to her anyway. I only reached out to her twice and just told her what time it was. Like, you're a nasty bitch. And, just FYI, and she took it as a threat when I said, everyone's going to know you're a nasty bitch, but it's cool because this is America. And if I want to tell people about you, I can tell people about you. Like, if you are a person that like fucked my son's father, like while I had a baby with him, and you're like on my new mattress, on my son's blanket, fucking him, I can be like, hey, dude, oh, you're fucking on her? Guess what? She fucks on people's, baby's dad that, have STDs and they swap them and shit, like I can do that and it's cool. It's cool. But, yeah, so it was just an unfortunate situation that got me into the point where, I just lost my mind, man. I was so fucking tired of seeing people act nasty. I have seen people act in ways that most people will never see in their lifetime. Like, most people won't see half of the shit that I see. And that is just people acting disgustingly, because I have a light inside me that really pisses people off. Me just being me just being genuine and just sitting here really upsets people because I shine bright. And that really, really, like, people who don't have that or have a lot of darkness and just are kind of like simple and upset about being plain, ooh, they hate me. And that's like with my son's father's girlfriend, the affair partner lady. She is so plain and she has this permanent scowl on her face. She's just like, and she's got an attitude problem and she's very hard. Like, not a lot of people like her. And, she's just nasty in the face, like just all the time, like looking like she's just pissed off and shit. And she acts that way. Like, she's just has an attitude all the time. And she's very unlikable. And, that pisses her off that I'm not that way. Like, I was bubbly and I'm pretty and I have a warm disposition and people like me, and, unless they're a jealous type person, unless they're haters. So, she's been, when she came after me for court, that brought so much fear inside me and it just took over. It lit like a flame. My insides are set alight and I have not been okay since. That was when the fear crept in and I can see that now. I let it run wild like a wildfire. instead of controlling it. And I just let it burn. And I can see that now.